National Insurance Clearinghouse, the marketing arm of Brokers Alliance, presents a Bravo video event, the Business Insurance Zone, dedicated to financial professionals who use insurance in their practice.
And on today's show, the Turnkey Referral Generation System with Professor Rodney Balance.
And now the host of the Business Insurance Zone, the whiz of the biz, insurance columnist Steve Savant.
Well, welcome everyone to the Business Insurance Zone. We're broadcasting live to a nationwide network of financial professionals from Fountain Hills, Arizona, home of America's largest fountain. And today with me is Professor Rodney Balance from the university, actually Mid-Atlantic Christian University. And welcome to the show, Rodney.
Hey, thanks, Steve.
I have a professor on the show today. I'm going to have to watch my P's and Q's. I'm going to up my MBA language. Usually I try to stay kind of down the middle today, Professor, but I'm going to have to kind of go maybe a little bit more higher end. Probably not, though. You have to actually have the ability to do it. You know, one of the reasons why we have Rodney on, now you probably have seen Rodney's articles. He's very big on Producer's Web. He's all over the web on certain areas of education. But actually, in the last 4 years, Rodney, you've actually made a turnkey, and you make a huge distinction here, referral generation system, not a lead generation system.
Oh, absolutely.
Talk about that.
Well, let's first understand that I've had 20 years in the business. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm honored to be able to be on the adjunct faculty of the university as a professor teaching personal finance. But most importantly, to the people watching this program, is I've been in their shoes for 20 years, mm-hmm. and thankful for it. Now, understanding that I've been out there on the streets, in the ditches with them, I understand that a lead is on, maybe 1 in 10 will turn out to mm-hmm. even get an appointment with you. I also understand the most valuable resource we have in our business is a referral mm-hmm. from either a client or a trusted resource. And that's what we've generated, that's what we've developed as a system that we give you referrals directly from a professor who teaches personal finance at an accredited university, mm-hmm. not one that is made up to sell financial peace or something like that.
Right, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, so we want to make sure that the people are understanding and learning mm-hmm. how financial tools work, so that you don't have to go through the whole education process with these referrals. These people who come to you are already ready to make a change and understand what the change mm-hmm. should be.
Now, one of the reasons is they're ready to make a change is because the upfront evangelism that's going on with your organization, it's the Financial Leadership Academy, that organization is nationwide.
Right.
It's all over the net, and it's actually somewhat institutional. I'm looking at some of these like the Lions Club, the YMCA, churches, different institutions that are having you in. From the educational point of view, people are ready to make a change, and then we need an ambassador, a liaison between your organization and this institution that you actually service.
Exactly. The whole premise of this program is to educate the public and then team them up with a local financial professional to follow up and design, implement, and monitor a financial plan that will last that family for ages to come.
Well, the thing I like about this is many of you know, you've watched my career not only on the show, but many of the old ways we used to do, Brain Sharks, everything else. We've looked at so many lead programs, and most of them, honestly, you pay $20 to $40 a lead. It's a crapshoot. We've tried our best to actually vet out what we think is going to be the better of the programs. This is really different because we have such control over the institution that up front has these clients, and that's why we've kind of changed our language from lead generation to referral generation. I can't underscore the power of third-party endorsement.
Exactly.
I mean, when you think about that, Rodney, that's the thing that sells, third-party endorsement. So we're looking to always find new ideas to put actual clients in front of our producers. And I think this is one of the ideas that we have seen that's really an anomaly out there. This is a really distinctive distribution way to get referrals. Again, not leads, referrals.
Yeah. Well, there are people out there, entertainers, who've used this type of distribution system for years successfully mm-hmm. to pass on, let's say, less than competent financial information. And so what we try to do is utilize the part of that works, mm-hmm. Letting the information be distributed through organizations who already have an outreach to mm-hmm. the community, bringing in the people that they already have connection with, mm-hmm. and then providing that competent information that you and I know is so much needed and sought out.
It is, and in fact, I'm thinking about all of my college days, everybody I graduated, I don't think we ever took a personal finance course in our life.
Yeah.
And to see that you're a professor of personal finance, I'm thinking you're teaching the next generation about this, which is, by the way, that has to be an anomaly in itself. I just told you we didn't get it.
And it's being taught by somebody from inside the industry, not an academic. It's somebody from academia somewhere. And the thing that I love about it is they've also taken my book, The Love of Money, and turned it and used it as a textbook in universities across the country.
Now that's all over the net right now. I mean, you can get that at Amazon, right?
Oh, absolutely.
All those places. And I actually asked Rodney for an edition. He says, well, he has to wait for the next printing, I guess, right?
We're sold out. We're sold out. I don't even have any for myself.
The Love of Money. I mean, what is that? I was thinking about that OJ song, Oh, for the Love of Money. I should have, if I'd have known that, I would have put it on the show. Although I didn't have the rights for it. Okay. But I'm looking at always referral systems. Now, we're going to be talking about this all week long. Financial literacy, turnkey marketing program, your teaching and instructional videos, the material, compliant, approved, non-FINRA material. We're going to be looking at all these really inventory of support mechanisms for this turnkey referral system. But I really think what's really important to know is that we've kind of partnered with Rodney from a Brokers Alliance point of view, and we're going to have a little special. I'll talk a little bit about at the end of today's show about the pricing, because we've actually cut a deal with Rodney on a national basis for all of our people, and to give you a really good 60 window. Well, I'll be more on that when we get back onto it. I want to talk a little bit about some of the things. We have so much to get on in here. I just want to get into it kind of. We talk about competent advice. Okay, now when I think about competency, I'm looking at you. You're a professor. You teach. You're at an accredited university. You've been in this for a long time, 20 years. You're a vet. When I'm looking at competency, I look at the issues that trigger E&O insurance. I look at the issues of client complaint. I can see a person's U4 if it's been hit. We can look at the insurance commissioner to say we're not going to take on this guy, or actually carriers, because they may have issues that they have online, whether it's anywhere from their own financial bankruptcies all the way up to incompetency because they sold the wrong product. Suitability is an issue.
Absolutely.
It's a big one. Competency is an issue. How can you wed together the competency of the field force, and then I'm looking at these suitability issues for the client?
Right. Well, the way we work this is our program is the turnkey program. Our system, we give you, those who work with us, those what we call our ambassadors of the Financial Leadership Academy, we give them unlimited access to our materials, our 5-part DVD educational program. From a compliance issue, there's nothing wrong with you going to the president of a Lions Club or a pastor of a church and saying, Pastor, I've run across this program that I think would be beneficial to our community. Would you host this and let people come and watch this educational program about money? Well, that's a problem. Now, you stay out of it as a financial professional. You don't attend the event if you don't want to. You don't have anything to do with it. In our leader's guide, we teach people how to say, press the play button on the DVD. And there's a leader's guide. Everybody has their own workbooks. So all of that's turnkey. You don't have anything to do with it except loaning your copy to the decision maker in that nonprofit organization. And then at the end, or all throughout the program, for 5 weeks, I'm educating people about how money works, telling them the importance of picking the right financial advisor to work with, and your name is in each of those workbooks as the only recommended advisor in your area that we endorse for them to work with.
So actually, this not only is a referral generation system, if I'm hearing correctly, but you've really set this up, the people that participate and the people that are actually paying their fee to belong to this have some exclusivity on the zip codes.
Oh, absolutely. This is what you're buying is licensing rights of our material in certain zip codes in your area.
Yeah, I thought about this, Rodney. You have this out. Of course, you do some of this yourself. You're publicly speaking at these institutions, but as well as we're handing these actual kind of first contact videos. We're handing and say, just listen to this. If you think it's great, we can bring this into your system. Here's a professor that's doing this right now. He's been on CBN. You've been on CBN and several television and radios all throughout your career, speaking about these things, addressing finances. And it's amazing to me how people. Actually, let's start at the institutional level. The institutions really want somebody to come in and talk about this.
Oh, yeah.
I'm really surprised, especially after the last couple of years and the debacle in the market. So.
Exactly. More people today than ever before are wanting to understand more about how financial products work, because they've taken a bath, not because they didn't understand, and they've been taken advantage of by salespeople and entertainers who really have a one-size-fits-all philosophy, and every square peg needs to be driven into that round hole. So when people have an understanding of how these things work, a knowledge and a working understanding, they're less likely to be taken advantage of. And there's the salesman's worst nightmare. They're the advisor's best friend.
Well, I like the idea of having this kind of, like, for example, generally these institutions have to pay big money to get you to come in and so forth in the past. But really what we've done now is we've actually been able to figure out a way to make it economically sound so that the institutions can bring you in, right? You got to pay your freight, your T&E and all that. But I'm just saying your basic ideas of bringing you into an institution and then having these follow-up by people who are in part of our ambassadors. They're the liaison between your organization and this institution that you have. And the best part about it is our agents. A lot of these are already our agents. Little heads up. We already have a very good lead program. I'll have to talk to you about it some other time. But that program I try not to bring stuff on the air that doesn't generate referrals or leads. But in this case, I want to stay on referral. I want to encourage you, especially at the end of the show, and we'll be doing this all week, you'll be able to look at this and say, this is really a good shot, very economical. I don't know if you can say this, I sure can. I've spent money on lead programs. I've spent way too much money on lead programs that didn't pan out.
All of us have.
And now we're into an area where this is so turnkey, and by the way, I can't underscore that. It is a turnkey marketing system. It's a referral generation system. This program we've already thought about everything you're going to need. We're going to hand it to you. All you have to do is, can you be brave enough to knock on the door and hand the DVD out?
That's it. And the first year I implemented this, Steve, the first year I started working this system, I became the number one representative in sales, life insurance sales, in the country for the company where I worked. Number one in the company for insurance premium.
Well, first of all, I have to say, and I think I can say this for everybody, Rodney, we love that because on our show, sometimes we have academics and or home office people come in, and they're very good people and so forth, but they've never been in the trenches.
Right.
They've never sold. Now I have a person that not only sold, but is a major producer. When I have a major producer like yourself, that's something I want to tout because you've been there, you've done that. You have 20 years under your belt, and so whatever we're going to talk about, you have legitimacy in our audience. When I'm thinking about all of us starting out the brand new year, and this is why I wanted to have Rodney on there at the front end of January, I want us to have the ability into his program, his referral generation system, this generation system at the front end of the year so that we have an opportunity to kind of get started and get going. If you're sitting there saying, man, Steve, I need to jumpstart my first of the year, man, we always go through depression, right? This is the one you want to do it. Listen, you're listening to the Business Insurance Zone, the talk show that focuses on insurance in your practice. You can email me at thebiz@brokersalliance.com or call me toll free at 1-800-290-7226, 125. When we come back, Rodney and I will be talking about more about this program, Turnkey, right after a message from Brokers Alliance.
Whether you're a professional planner pursuing a strategic partner or an insurance distributor seeking a national alliance, your business just went into overdrive. Now enter the largest resource of insurance products and services with unparalleled access to a worldwide audience of consumers through the National Insurance Clearinghouse, the marketing arm of Brokers Alliance, who can take your company and launch it into the stratosphere of success. With countermeasures, the most comprehensive carrier intel in the industry, the MASH unit with field triage underwriting and the premium tolerance test, the life insurance financial evaluation, the most rigorous policy review, and Bravo high-definition broadcasting with online social media. Your search just ended.
Well, welcome back to the Business Insurance Zone. I'm Steve Savant, your host, insurance columnist, financial color commentator, and interviewer extraordinaire. Remember, before moving forward with any of the strategies on our show, always check in with your CPA, your attorney, and of course, your broker-dealer compliance department. You can call me toll free 1-800-290-7226 extension 147 for any quotes or questions you have on life insurance, annuities, DI, LTC, or group pension plans. Hey, it's not what I know, it's who I know, and that's why I have Rodney on my show today. Professor Rodney Balance, I must say. Oh man, I love that. Professor. Sounds so official and academic on my show.
I feel like I'm on Gilligan's Island.
You are. And where's Marianne when I need her? You know? Gosh. Boy, I tell you what, doesn't that bring back...
Man.
Now you're talking
we may
about
be dating ourselves, huh?
Oh my gosh, you already did that. Well, I've been married 38 years, so it's too late for me to date anybody.
Oh.
Sorry about that one. Couldn't pass it up. Well, listen, again, remember, we're talking about this program. You'll be able to get information off our landing page at www.brokersalliance.com/Rodney Balance. And by the way, Rodney spells is with 2 L's, so it's BALLANCE.
Hey, you know why? I'm on our radio show, Balancing Your Budget. I told them our last name is spelled with 2 L's because we always deliver more than what you expect.
Well, I got to tell you, you should have AK'd it to a single L before you got into the business, because we're going to have guys misspelling that web.
That's all right. That's
okay.
all right.
All right. So if it doesn't work and you say, Steve, I went there, you probably aren't using 2 L's. Okay, just a heads up. That's not loser. That's 2 L's. Okay. Well, let's talk about it. We were talking about in the first part about competency, learning curve issues, which this system really, it wasn't really meant to educate newbies, because one of your requirements is you have to at least be 3 years in the business. So you do have to have a working knowledge.
Oh, absolutely.
You can't just walk in here.
I mean, I've got to know that when we turn people over to you, that they're through your advisors, these advisors who are watching this program, that they're going to have the resources, the knowledge, the understanding, and the ability through the right companies to provide the tools that these people are now looking for, because I've told them what to go buy.
Well, I think it's important for our people to know, because we're going to introduce this whole system, and before we can introduce it, we actually have to have you talk a little bit about the Financial Leadership Academy.
Right.
And you're into leadership. I mean, I noticed that you really, a lot of your videos, the way you present things, your issue is really it's almost mentoring. Fundamentally,
in a way, absolutely. But we're mentoring both advisors and the public.
And the public, right.
Yeah. So we've got a wide range of reach. But I love John Maxwell. All right. I've taught his stuff for years. Leadership, as opposed to management, is simply this: management assumes things will always stay the same. Okay, if you're on a production line and you're producing widgets at one end, you know a certain amount of ingredients is going to produce that amount of widgets at the other end. Well, until somebody from upstairs calls down and tells you they need you to produce more widgets or less widgets, you don't change that formula. You react to what's being told to you, and so you react by changing the formula with the prescribed amount to produce the new amount of widgets desired. Now, I want people to become and feel empowered to be that voice from upstairs who's calling down and say, we need to change the number of widgets. That's leadership. When leadership contacts management, management reacts. Leaders always anticipate change, often initiate change, but always benefit from change. So what we want to do is create a network of leaders who are initiating change and benefiting from that change all over the country. And those leaders, those people who are putting a proactive approach to their finances, are the ones who are watching our DVDs. Now, you, as a leader in our industry, can benefit from that by being on the back end and working with these people who are now taking a proactive approach to their personal finance. So Financial Leadership Academy, all it does is connect the people who understand now that they need to make a change in their financial understanding with the people who can make that change for them. You, our advisors.
Now, part of being with the Academy is they have I don't want to call it a tuition, because it sounds like a tuition fee.
No, it's a licensing fee.
But it's a licensing fee. That licensing fee is generally $299.95 a month.
Right.
For special with Brokers Alliance, I feel like putting a blue light up, It's like, but call now, we're going to do a discount for 60 days for 2 months, because we really believe we want to jumpstart this, and I don't want you to have to think about it, because when you're looking at paying $169.95, basically $340 upfront for 60 days, and get an exclusive zip code for what we're talking about in your area and in your community, I think this is a great entrance fee. Think about it. Most of the plans that we look at cost at a minimum $500 just to buy leads. This is a referral program of people that already want to play, have already seen Rodney's system. Somebody in their institution, whether it's the Rotary Club, the Lions Club, a church, a synagogue, whatever, said, hey, we already heard Rodney. Rodney, send us a liaison. Send us somebody to walk us through.
We have one particular pastor in Kentucky who's seen our program and absolutely loves it. He sits on an advisory board that oversees 200 churches in the state of Kentucky alone. We don't have an advisor in Kentucky to work with any of these 200 plus churches who are in need and desire of our program. So if you're in Kentucky, make sure you click that button right now, because this introductory offer of $169.95 only for Brokers Alliance advisors is available to you right now, and we could sure use you to help with these people who are searching for your help.
And don't forget, as I'm telling my engineer right now, we got to do a database run on every one of our producers in Kentucky and see if we can help them out.
Well, we also need in California, Georgia, Florida,
well,
Wisconsin, Michigan. So we can just keep going down the line.
Well, I'll tell you what we'll do. After the end of the show, I'll go ahead and sort our database. Remember, this is great for our people who are already doing business with us. If you've never done business with Brokers Alliance, think about this. We handed out almost 900 through our retail outlet. Almost 900 applications were written in 2011 on our own lead system. This isn't something we bought. This is our own that we made. Now we're doing number 2, although we're not calling it a lead system now.
No.
We're calling it a referral generation, turnkey generation system.
Right.
So he'll tell us all the states. We'll take copious notes, I promise you. And then we're going to do our database, and the people that are giving us business, we're going to give them more business.
Right, absolutely.
I love that. So let's talk about a little more about the academy now. What do I get? I'm going to get referrals, but it's way more than that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, let's go back just a little bit to the need. Why in the world do we even need something like the Financial Leadership Academy? All right, well, there are programs out there such as Dave Ramsey's program and Crown Ministries and other programs that are designed specifically for the people who are so buried in debt they can't think about even being able to afford something to buy next week. They are so broke they can't. They can't do anything. So there are programs out there designed for those people to help them move to the next level. Wealthy folks with maybe, let's say, minimum $500,000 in expendable income or assets that are under management, any of us can help them design and implement a plan, and they pay us for that. What's been missing is a program specifically designed for those tens of millions of people caught in between those two ends of the spectrum, who just don't know what to do with the money they have. So they follow the one-size-fits-all philosophy of these entertainers such as Susie Orman and Dave Ramsey, and then of course they find the problems with those, and they don't feel like they have enough assets to hire someone like us to do what they know needs to be done. So they overfund their 401k that's not being matched. They buy term and invest the rest. They follow the mantra of whoever's got the loudest voice. Our program is a myth-buster program, basically. In fact, I think it's the 4th segment of our 5 DVD series. It's titled Mortgage Myths and Debt Deceptions. And we treat it as if it's a Mythbusters type program, and we just blow the lid off of these ideas that banks and entertainers want us to believe, like always get a 15-year mortgage instead of a 30. Well, some of you may be thinking, well, what's wrong with getting a 15-year mortgage? Well, think about it this way. You always pay about 40% more for a 15-year mortgage per month than you do a 30-year mortgage. Now, that in and of itself isn't bad, because you think, okay, well, I'll pay my mortgage off in half the time. What I teach people in the 7 Indisputable Laws of Financial Leadership, it's an ebook that we've written that I'm going to make sure each one of you get, is that the number 1 law of financial leadership is access to and control over your money. The law of access says the person who has access to the money has the benefit of the money. So when you allow yourself to spend 40% more per month and give that to the bank or the mortgage company in return for what we believe to be equity, okay, then you're just giving away 40% of control over what could be working for you to someone else.
Now, what's that ebook again?
The 7 Indisputable Laws of Financial Leadership.
And if they go to our site, we'll be able to put that on the landing
Absolutely, we'll
page.
give that to you for free.
All right, you'll pick that up. We'll have that on the landing page at www.brokersalliance.com/Rodney Balance with 2 L's on that balance. Okay, well that's huge. And part of those 5 video series, which are what, about an hour a piece?
Each one of them are between 35 and 50 minutes long.
Perfect.
They're designed for just a 1-hour meeting. so that there's time for the discussion questions at the end, and to make sure that the leader is talking to them about making sure they get their homework done. That's the key here. Now, how important is it to you to get a referral? Now, ask yourself this: how important it is for me to get a referral where the referral brings all of their financial information to me in an understandable, systematic approach where I can look at it and make a plan for them?
Because your system actually collects that, right?
Absolutely, and we make sure that they bring it all to you in a format that you can use.
Well, I love this because I love the turnkey. You've thought about everything down the line because you were a former producer. You know what it's like to play in this league.
I still produce.
You still produce. I don't know when you have time.
A couple clients a year.
Wow, but I want to encourage us because this is a shot. I usually don't get so commercial about it on Brokers Alliance, but I really want to talk to you about starting the year out right with great referral program, 60-day window. It's only month to month after that. I mean, if you don't want to do it after that, but I say do the 60 days because of the discount that we've cut with Rodney for Brokers Alliance agents. And if you're new to us, I'll give you the same deal. You'll have to sign our contracts like we do with everybody else. And if you do that, that's going to be about $340 for a 2-month period. We're going to do an exclusive zip code.
Yes. And
all those things. I just want to package it because our job is to make sure our producers have a shot at every possibility of increasing their client database. Remember, you can view this show and all our shows in beautiful HD 1080p on our on-demand section, located on our homepage at www.brokersalliance.com and on all our social networks, YouTube, Vimeo, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. This is Steve Savant. You've been listening to the Business Insurance Zone. Well, that's the buzz on the biz for today. Get in the zone, the Business Insurance Zone.
This has been a Bravo video event of the National Insurance Clearinghouse, the marketing arm of Brokers Alliance, one of the largest distributors of insurance products and services to a nationwide network of insurance professionals. Need insurance guidance? Call Brokers Alliance. The Business Insurance Zone, dedicated to financial professionals who use insurance in their practice.